Hey guys, welcome back to Ultimate Trader. Just wanted to do a video of today's action on the indexes on the S&P 500. Spiders will look the exact same, just a little bit different on the price. Approximately 1/10, so this is 452 as you can see. So coming into the day, you can see this down here is where the market opened. We opened somewhere around 16, I believe it was, 45.16. So this was resistance that, had we stayed below, we could have gotten a big move down, potentially. It would need to hold below this to sort of have that scenario play out. And breaking above it, let me just go to a 15 to sort of, or I'll go to a 30-minute chart here. If you see this, so this is the area where we came in. So my thought was if we don't break above it, which we've been super bullish, of course, but it's pretty extended at this point, and up here is the all-time high. So in order for a downside move to play out, we'd probably need to hold this area, this resistance right here. And if we broke above it, then we could challenge the all-time high. And maybe even make a new high today. Let me just go back to the 5-minute. So I shorted right here, right around the 19 area, I believe it was, because let me just go into the 1-minute chart. So you can see that's where I tried shorting it, and that's right here at these areas. So were that to hold, we could get a downside move to play out, but it was pretty dicey because the market's been so bullish. But the only thing I'll say about that is that when something happens that's not expected, in other words, instead of going up for the day because we've been so bullish, somehow the market turns around and just kind of tanks. You really can kind of participate in a big winner if that happens. So anyway, the market came down, and you can see it kind of spiked up here, right? So when it came back down, I didn't exactly scratch it. I basically took, I think, like a 6 or 7 tick loss, which is like a 1.5, nothing. And then I bought this, basically the same area, because we'd broken out, and that's sort of the situation that probably was more likely to be in play. Now I scaled out over here of 20% of the position, and I only took 20% off because I really thought we'd probably get up here, even if we didn't make a new all-time high. I figured there was a pretty good chance, a pretty good probability that we'd get there, even if we did this, which we did for a few hours. And then we get this massive sell-off, and I scratched the balance, unfortunately. Now, there was a reason, I guess, you could probably hold, but this is in real time, because all you're seeing is this, right? Like in real time. It might even be better to show you in the 1 minute. So, this is just this massive down move. Well, not massive, but pretty swift down move. And so, you could make a case for buying this, but I thought it was pretty tough. I actually had an order down here at 1375. So I was still long as we came down, because I figured that this area might hold. But once we got this massive spike down, we kind of came back up. I ended up scratching the trade, and then and at the same time had an order down here that never got filled. So when we came back up, I scratched it, which it's the reason being is at this point it doesn't look probable that we're going to make another new high. Over here it's much more probable because we haven't had some massive sell-off, and when it does this, it's kind of a tough to imagine that we'll end up making a new high again. Now, you could argue it, but In real time, that's how it looks, at least in my opinion. So unfortunately, what I call days like this is a dud. It kind of just turned into a dud. We had a very small overnight range. If you see these Globex, the Globex low down here at 45.04, and then 17 quarter was the high. So we only had a 13 and a quarter point range. So that's another reason why I thought we could get up there to potentially a new high, because that's a very tight range, and we normally would have a much wider range on the day. So anyway, kind of a dead day, unfortunately. Wanted to mention that we have our new mini course, we're calling it. It's like a starter kit for identifying support and resistance. So down here was the only support. This was resistance in the morning coming in. And then these are all resistance, obviously, with the all-time high. But we have this new mini course. It's to identify key levels. It's on our Patreon, but you can check out our YouTube channel, and I'll put a link in the description below. It's very, very low priced. It's not an expensive course or anything. We wanted to make it available to everybody, so it's not a big deal. You do have to join the Patreon, but you don't have to retain your membership. You just have to pay the first month, and then you have lifetime access to the trading course, the mini course on identifying key support and resistance, key levels. We think it's worth the value. So, and then if you retain the membership past the first month, then you have access to us. You can post on the Patreon chat if you have stocks you want us to look at just take a look at a stock or a crypto or a index or whatever you're sort of looking at that day. So that's the latest news. So hopefully this helps, and we'll talk to you in the next one.